Hey, good day everyone. Welcome back to my channel, and I'm just going to show you a little bit of the devices that I used in the care of my patients. So this is actually called a pill mill, or you could also say it is a pill grinder, and it consists of several parts. So you have the crank. We also have, I'm trying to move to the center of the video. We also have the container where the medication falls in, and this is the main part of the device. This is the grinder. It actually contains several parts. So if you can see over here, it also contains, let me just turn on the light. So it's actually a ceramic grinder inside. Now, what's the use for this one? It is useful for a patient wherein you have to grind the medication and put it inside, like for example, in a sauce or dissolved in water or whatever. But the only thing is, this device is only good for one person. The reason for that is that the the ground medication will be hard to remove every after use, and you don't want to cross contaminate medication of other patients, especially since some medications need just a little bit of powder or just a couple of milligrams to have a profound effect on the body of another patient. So you don't want to cross contaminate this one. This is only good for personal use or for just one patient. So especially if you have medications like digoxin, you don't want to mix it with other patients' medication. So there is a type of pill crusher that prevents cross contamination, and those were the ones where you just like press and you put the medication inside a small plastic bag, and you can press it, and all the medication stays inside the plastic bag. But that's considered to be a little bit expensive because aside from the device itself, you also have to pay for the plastic packets that you're gonna use for the patient. And unfortunately, I don't think a hospital would have that kind of budget to continually use those small packets for every patient every day, because you have to give medication every day. So this one is only good for personal use. I actually use another one, and this is it. So this is a manual plastic pill crusher, and it's supposed to have like a pill cutter also, but I don't know how to use this one because you try to put it in, but then you have to twist also. But I guess the groove there means that you can just supposedly press, and then like supposedly you can just like press that one. But I already have another pill cutter here which I find useful, and that is this. It's a pill cutter that can accept multiple sizes. You just put the medication in, and then you just press, and then one half of the medication comes out here. It comes out here, and then you can just drop it into your receptacle, and give it to the patient again. It's a bad practice we have in the Philippines, wherein we use stuff like these without considering the fact that the dust could like could contaminate the medication of other patients. So the thing that we use in the Philippines is actually quite funny. Okay. So we usually get a piece of paper, put the medication in, fold it a couple of times, and then use a mortar and pestle to crush the medication. So the medication stays in the paper, and paper is quite relatively cheaper than using plastic bags. Or we could use like scratch paper to do that. But the environmental effect, like maybe you could includes a little bit of the ink or paper in the medication, it hasn't caused like serious harm to the patient. So let's continue. So let's assemble this one first. Let's put the whole thing together. And I already have the medications ready over here. Let's just pour. I like to like divide it into the separate parts. So because I don't want to like gum up the whole thing. So this is only useful for medications that don't have enteric coating. Do not crush pills that have enteric coating, because In the first place, the coating is there for a purpose. It's meant to be absorbed slowly, or it's meant to bypass the stomach to keep the pill safe from the stomach acid, and it has to go through the small intestines. Okay, this is very simple compared to the manual crusher, and it also gives out finer dust of powder. Okay, here we go. Just gonna turn it around a couple of times. You just have to make sure that everything is grounded up. There you go. So, pill is gone. What I do is I just tap it a couple of times in my container just to get all of the small bits out, because every bit of medication is important to your patient. And then just gonna put these in. So you could like dissolve this in anything, in water. It's not. There you go. You can dissolve it in water. But what I typically use for my client right now is I am using applesauce. Here we go. Just half, because I don't want waste. Any more than half, my client won't finish the whole thing. And I just call it like apple pudding, or in this one, it's banana pudding. Okay. And now we are ready. So what are the things that you can use to dissolve the medication? Applesauce is one thing. Juices, you have to be careful to use a specific type of juice, because there are certain juices that can actually cause or can elevate or decrease the therapeutic levels in your body. An example of that one is the cranberry. So I don't use cranberry sauce. I don't use cranberry juice to dissolve medication, because some certain types of medication are affected by cranberry. So I give this to my client before our day starts. And some of the medication considerations with this one, the taste will alter. For example, the applesauce, the medication of course will alter the taste. But for my client who's a little bit her taste buds aren't as quite good as compared to her younger days, but still, if you have problems with the taste of the medication, a slight dash of honey or syrup can mask the taste. Like a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, right? So we don't want to give a spoonful of sugar to our clients already. Maybe for kids, because they have the metabolism to handle it. So as far as contraindications for this one, again, I'm going to repeat: no enteric coated tablets. There's a purpose, there's a reason why it's enteric coated. It's to make sure that it doesn't get dissolved first or easily in the stomach. It has to pass through other parts of the digestive system to be absorbed. So you do that for patients who have like ulcers, or the medication itself needs to be absorbed in the small intestines or has to reach the large intestines. So those are some of the contraindications in using the crusher. Other things that you would have problems is that, again, it's only meant for one patient. It shouldn't be used for different kinds of patients, because they have medications that might contaminate others, and you don't want to do that, because some medications like 0.25 milligrams is enough to cause a therapeutic reaction, and could be fatal for your clients. Now, there are some cases wherein maybe the nurse is already tired and use the same grinder for another patient to make things faster, and not realizing that the patient is getting sicker because she has been cross contaminating the medications to each and every one. So you have to avoid using that. Use a personal pill grinder for one patient only. If you have the special type of grinder where it prevents cross contamination, then well and good, but it's gonna be expensive. It's either you pay out of your own pocket, or your hospital or institution are very generous in supplies, which is not that common. So sometimes nurses, we have to improvise. Like in our case, we use paper to grind the medication in to protect it from cross contamination. Paper is not an ideal solution, but if you are caring for like 20, 30, 50 patients, and you need to grind the medication of like 5 or 10 of them, then the paper solution will work. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned a little bit from this one. If you have any comments, you can write it down below. And I would like to know you guys. Thank you very much. If you also like my videos, you just have to like the video and then subscribe. And you can also hit the bell icon for notification if ever I post things again, but I usually post gaming vids. So thank you again, guys, for watching. This is Raxus. Have a good day.